Welcome to Truth and Testimony, the broadcast, where we teach the Word of God. You will also hear about world news and how it relates to Bible prophecy, plus interviews and testimonials from men and women of God who have devoted their lives to serving Yahshua, Jesus Christ our Lord. Now, without further ado, let's get to our hosts, Ray Gauthier and Adrian Scott.
Hi, everybody. I am Ray Gauthier with my good friend, Adrian Scott. How you doing, friend?
I am doing very well, actually.
And welcome to Truth and Testimony, the broadcast, as we provide something we haven't done in a while, a bit of an update from both of us. We're going to wrap it into about 30 minutes so we can jam as much in there as possible, but you are looking good.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling pretty good. The recovery is going quite well. And there's still things we're checking out, but all said and done, I am happy to report that I've basically been exceeding everybody's expectations. So
yeah, well, that's good. Well, I'm telling you something. I don't want this to sound bad. I don't want it to sound heartless, but you look better now than you did before you died. Right? You look good. You do. You look thinner.
No, frankly, I feel better. I mean, I've lost, I'm closing in on 25 pounds.
Yeah.
My energy level is just better. And, obviously things like the chest pain and all the symptoms and stuff that I was experiencing beforehand, I'm not at this point. So
good.
Yeah, that also just helps your emotional state. So it's easier to smile,
Yeah. For those of you that don't really know what happened to Adrian Scott, maybe in about a minute, you can give us a quick update on what exactly happened and, how serious that was.
Well, just to summarize, so as of the end of August, the very beginning of September, I had I believe I heard them use the term bilateral, but whether that applies or not, a pulmonary embolism, which is basically a blockage to the lungs that resulted in me going into cardiac arrest. In which I was in cardiac arrest for the better part of 20 minutes while they were administering CPR the whole time. I had the full, there's a epi something or other thing, they'll give you injections of nitro or whatever it is.
Yeah.
They did that. They had the full paddles and everything. They had a lineup of people doing this because doing CPR is extremely taxing physically. You just get people doing this, and they're just sweating up a storm because it's a very aggressive activity.
Apparently, your ribs were sore.
Yeah, no, they make it look, not too bad on TV and the different doctor shows and stuff. But the reality is, it's pretty dirty and nasty and hardcore. It's an aggressive action. So 20 minutes. Oh yeah, no, they are pushing hard. They're doing all that stuff. And so I was very lucky. One of the first things in that I came out of that. Well, first off, I survived.
Yeah.
And then despite, being in cardiac arrest for 20 minutes, and there's real concern about necrosis to the organs and stuff, particularly brain damage, that I didn't suffer any more brain damage than I already had. And the fact that I walked away from it with bruised ribs, because it is quite common to end up with full cracked sternums, broken ribs, all of that stuff, that I just had bruised ribs to the point where I'd actually had a couple of doctors came up to me and were like, they're looking at the chart of everything that had happened, and they're like, 20 minutes. And it said, and just bruised ribs? You're a sturdy fella.
Well, it's not only that too, man. I mean, it's like you should have ended up with maybe even some brain damage. Like when I heard what happened and that you, what do they call it when you go into that mode where you're not breathing and they try to bring you back? There's a terminology for that. What is that called?
I think the technical term is dead.
Okay. What was I thinking?
So, I was clinically deceased for 20 minutes.
Okay, but that's not quite what I was thinking of, but forgive my ignorance, sir. But anyway,
there's other terms, but I'm not sure what applies. I've heard them say AFib and all this other stuff and VFib and
Well, what exactly was going through my mind is that when I heard you went through that, um, I had a cousin, or not a cousin, but my aunt Anne. She went through something very similar. So I call her my aunt because she was with my uncle for so long. She went through the same thing, and she was without oxygen for about 20 minutes or so, and she was not the same when she come out of it. She literally was slurring words, and she was a little bit more childlike after that, permanently.
I was very, very fortunate because the cardiac arrest didn't really happen until after I was in the emergency room at the hospital, and the staff were right there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, literally within 2 seconds of going into cardiac arrest, somebody was up on the bed and they were administering CPR. And the thing is, in as much as your heart may not be beating, just the action of doing that continues pumping some blood. And so I wasn't completely oxygen deprived. So almost instantaneously, they were working on me. And I really think that was a big part of the saving grace. Ultimately, you know, I'm chalking it up to it's the big guy above made sure that I stayed out of harm's way. So apparently he wants me around for something. And that's kind of frightening to say, because I look at what happened with, you know, John and Isaiah and all these guys, and they did not have great lives. They had it pretty rough at times.
Yeah.
You know, but that's what happens when you're in the will of God in a world that is not in the will of God.
It is a miracle.
Yeah, it is.
It is a miracle.
Even the doctors have said that. The non-believing doctors are like, I mean, frankly, the fact that you survived and did so without brain damage or other organ damage, you're a miracle.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I hope someone there at the hospital made it very clear to them, give thanks and glory to Yahweh, not only for saving me, but giving you the skills to do it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, and, but that's just really awesome. I can't tell you how nervous I was. I was really, ask Susan, I was a wreck during that whole thing. I didn't know what was going to come out of that. I thought I was going to lose my friend. And then I find out you're cracking jokes, and I'm like, okay, he's back.
It's good to know that in that reaction, my knee-jerk reaction. Yeah, no, that my knee-jerk reaction in the midst of stuff like that is to start cracking jokes. That should tell you something about my personality. Yeah. But I mean, on that serious note, what the thought that maybe haunts me the most, it's not even what happened to me, because I was unconscious. I wasn't aware of any of this. Yeah. But for the better part of 20 minutes, try to imagine my wife sitting there. She couldn't stay in the room to actually watch what was happening. She had to step out, but she was just out in the hallway. Yeah. And for the next 20 minutes, all she can hear coming from in there is this flurry of activity. And one of the people just keeps saying over and over again, no pulse, no pulse, wow. No pulse, you know, and
that must have been very hard for her.
I think it's PTSD. Like she's actually has some post-traumatic stress disorder now, and I'm being sincere about that. Yeah. Because I mean, if I suddenly I yawn, I go to yawn, and she panics. Yeah. You know, I mean, So I almost feel worse for her than for what happened to me, because. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't, if it was her in that bed and that was, I couldn't even imagine it.
Yeah, it was. It kind of reminds me of that. There's this one show or movie where this kid had a cold, and every time he sneezed, he was covered in Vicks, because the mom was so scared. Yeah. Something was gonna happen. He'd be covered in it. But what she went through was really difficult, and you know, it is very much a miracle that she got through that too, because that's enough to set the entire family. Well, let's just say this whole thing affected a lot of people, and we had a lot of people praying for you, and we were praying for you. So we're just extremely,
and I absolutely believe that helped.
Sure it did. Yeah, you better believe it. So, and now you're on your way to Disneyland. Yeah,
all the weird things. I mean, this is something that had been in the plans for the better part of probably close to 2 years. There had been discussions going back and forth about doing this. The timing is quite something, but yeah. So this is honoring her mother's request. So, we absolutely think of elements like the what is it? Is it the fifth, I believe the fifth commandment of the 10 commandments, honor your father and your mother.
Right.
And, this is an exercise in us demonstrating that commandment in our lives.
Yeah. So you're taking everybody with you, and I'm guessing that your mother-in-law is treating everybody to do this, which I think is incredibly generous. That can't be cheap. That's really nice.
No, all said and done, I mean, this is probably a $8,000 to $10,000 trip.
Yeah. Wow.
And so she's not paying for all of it, but she is basically kind of splitting the costs with us.
Yeah.
So we're only having to spend about $4,000 instead of $8,000 or $9,000 to do this.
Yeah.
So otherwise, it probably wouldn't be happening.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys have a good time. I'm sure the kids are gonna. I guess they must be really looking forward to it. Everybody must be pretty excited.
Yes, and one thing I would say, it's funny, I pre-recorded a bunch of videos to have them scheduled for release while I'm gone. So content is going to keep going up on Truth and Testimony.
That's funny.
The first one is going up on Thursday, and it's going to time out in such a way, and I mentioned this in the video, it was just kind of an update video, that as of the time you're seeing this video, I'll probably be somewhere in Oregon.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
But just the fact that I did mention in that video that I am bringing cameras and all the stuff, and I'm going to be recording a lot of this, and the idea on the back end of this when I get back is to put something together that'll go up on the channel and just kind of showcase it. It's, I know normally the channel is kind of a teaching environment, but why not have a little fun? Maybe put it up on the lighter side, in that segment.
Yeah, no, why not? Just show. Yeah. I mean, I think everybody would love to see your progress, that you're out there enjoying yourself. It is, like I said, it is a miracle. And not to mention, just shortly after that, my daughter Carrie Anna ends up in the hospital because she's going through strokes and heart attacks, and she's only 33 years old, which is crazy.
And my wife goes immediately from having to deal with me to having to deal with that immediately.
Yeah, exactly. Because Carrie Anna was to go live on the island with you guys, and she goes to pick her up, and she's having seizures and everything, and more stress on that poor woman. I don't know. She's like the Energizer Bunny, man. She just keeps going. It's crazy. So, in a nutshell, Carrie Ann spent a month in the hospital, over a month, and now she's finally out and she's doing better. I mean, you're there, and we want to thank everybody for their prayers towards Carrie Anna and Scott and Kristen and the whole family and our family. And
very much.
You are watching Carrie Anna progress. How is she progressing? She seems to be getting better.
Yeah, she is noticeably better. There was a lot of speech issues.
Yeah. Is that getting better?
It's still not perfect, but her actual speech has improved. But above and beyond that, more importantly, when we first went to collect her from the hospital and get her out of there, just talking to her, you could see it was almost the effect of somebody kind of, just not paying attention. They're not totally there. Yeah. They're thinking of something else. They're 100 miles away, and it was very much that she wasn't really connecting with what was being told. You'd have to repeat things before it really sunk in.
Must have had you concerned.
And, so the ability to absorb information and recall it and act on it was very dampened, like it was really impacted. Yeah. And that has probably been the biggest improvement. You can see there's more focus in her eyes. She pays attention to stuff better. She's able to concentrate for longer periods of time and function in that capacity. So that's probably the biggest improvement. Actively walking around every day. We do have some stairs to get in and out of the house, and she's been practicing on those, and that's getting better. She's being able to do that more smoothly. Mm-hmm. So we're getting that limb strength up. We've made some pretty big changes to diet. So a lot of the junk food and the prepackaged, ultra processed, a lot of that's gone. Good. It's a lot more natural foods, a lot of homemade stuff. We're balancing it. There's some meat in there. There's some fruit and veggies and stuff like that. But it's really that idea of more, just a lot more natural foods and focusing on stuff like keeping carbs down, keeping the sodium down, which is important for her with her artery issues. Yeah. And keeping sugars down, obviously, as she is diabetic. Although it's kind of funny because through all of these problems, the one thing that has not been an issue, the one thing that she had under control and was kept well under control was the diabetes. That's been the smallest factor in all of this. Yeah. You know, it just seems almost unfair that this really is, apparently a genetic thing on her mother's side of the family. Yeah.
She also mentioned too that she's noticing a difference in some hormonal changes returning now that they have her on half a dose of her medication for her diabetes. Like for some reason she was on a double dose, and I noticed a couple of times that she noticed some hair growing under her chin. It's like, that's not normal. And now that she's not on it, it's not growing back. So it was really messing with her hormones and who knows what else.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on. I mean, the goal ultimately, we're doing this under the direction of our family doctor, who was gracious enough to take her on as a patient. Yeah. So in Canada, for those watching outside of Canada, the medical industry is in real disarray, and there is a major shortage of doctors and nurses. It is a significant problem, and there are people that are waiting years, and even after years still are not able to get just a basic family doctor. Yeah. They're just existing in a world of clinics only, and they're overburdened because of all this. So it can be a real chore. So the fact that our family doctor was willing and able to take her on, that's almost a minor miracle in and of itself. Yeah. But under her direction, you know, we are doing what we need to do to work on her health. So yeah, she's on some medication. Ultimately, our goal, my wife and I, and her as well, Carrie, is to see if we can't get her off of some of these pills. Yeah. You know, that's really the goal. So we're working towards that. We've seen some really good stuff talking about cacao powder as something that's a great agent for breaking down arterial blockage and stuff, dealing with plaque in the arteries. Yeah. So we're looking at all these things because it can't hurt. If we do a little cacao powder and mix it up in a drink and drink it, it's not doing any detriment. So even if it doesn't benefit, it's not hurting anything. So why not do it anyway?
Give it a try. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we're absolutely doing that, but I do believe it will work. So we're going with that. One thing I absolutely believe is the mechanism that God created, our bodies. He created it in such a way that it is capable of amazing feats of healing. I think I'm some demonstration of that in and of myself. Yeah. The problem is in our world, we keep our systems so bogged down with bad food, pollutants in the atmosphere, all kinds of stuff that just prevents our bodies from being able to operate the way He designed them to operate. Yeah. So the goal is to try to give the body as good an environment to do the healing that it was designed to do. And part of that is that He included all of the things that we would need to be healthy, to recover from stuff, to have good healthful benefits are in nature all around us. It's all part of His creation. And, you know, the pharmaceutical industry has done a great job of just twisting that, turning it into something quite wicked. But if you get back to the root of it, almost literally, and get to the plants, the base elements of it, I think you can find treatments or full-on cures for most of everything that we deal with, right out there growing in fields and on trees and bushes and stuff. You know? Yeah. So start bringing some of that into our lives.
Yeah. Well, I'm exceedingly happy about you and how Carrie's doing. And speaking of plants, I wanted to show you something.
Yeah.
That is, don't know the full name of it, but it is called a prayer plant. You've heard of that, have you not?
I have not, but I'm quite happy to just call it a prayer plant, whatever its official title is.
Okay, can you see this leaf?
Yes.
Okay, you see the way it's going, it's standing straight up. At nighttime, when there's no light whatsoever around this plant, all of its leaves point up. And it's from South America. There's a special name for this plant. I don't know the full name of it, but they call it a prayer plant. And we picked it up over, I think it was Lowe's or Best Buy, not Best Buy, obviously not, Lowe's or Home Depot. It was the only one there, and we decided to pick it up. And
one thing
we didn't have the heart to leave it in the truck or the house. We had to bring it with us.
And I like that. I like that idea. It's nice to have that element in the vehicle like that. But one observation that I make on that, which I thought is so cool, is this idea that there's very much a tradition, a routine within a lot of church. In this idea of when you're going to church and you would go to prayer, that they would say, close your eyes, bow your head, and you're kind of looking down and all of this stuff, and you go into prayer. But if you look in the Hebrew culture, in the Jewish culture, prayer is an act. You're actually looking up. You're looking up to where the Creator is. You're raising your hands to Him. And you're calling on Him with your prayers. And so the fact that this plant is going up, not hard to see why it's called a prayer plant, because at least from a Jewish standpoint, it's to pray. So
yeah, it's pretty cool. So at nighttime, we took a picture of it, and I'll have to send you a picture of it so you can get a look at it later. I think you'd get a good laugh. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. But as for me, no, we're doing all right, as you can see. Say hi, Susan.
Hi.
I know she can't hear me directly, but hi, Susan.
Yeah, Scott says hi, Susan. Yeah. So, as you can tell, things are moving back here. No, I'm not remotely driving this truck. She's driving it. And we are actually on our way to do a delivery just outside of Renton, Payolip, you probably know it, on the I-5. Now, when are you guys leaving tomorrow?
Yeah. Well,
No, really.
So we're not actually getting on the highway that quick. The idea is we're going over to the mainland. We're going to be heading to Abbotsford.
Right.
And we're actually spending the evening with our good friend there, Kevin, the one I went to Israel with.
Yeah.
And just because the following morning, so actually Friday morning, 21st, as soon as we get up, Abbotsford is like a 5 to 10 minute, let's call it a 10-minute drive to the border.
Yeah.
From the center of Abbotsford. You're right there. So it allows us to get up early, get to the border, do what we need to do there, and we're across the line and have as much of the day as possible. Ultimately, the goal is to try to make it down to Redding, California.
Yeah, sure.
We have multiple drivers, so we can swap around. It allows us to get a little more time in. It is important for me, though, and I'm under doctor's orders. We have to take breaks so that I'm not stationary that long, because my issue revolved around, and I didn't mention this about the pulmonary embolism, was brought on by the fact that I believe they said it was 6 to 8 blood clots in my lungs.
Really?
Yeah. And so apparently I have a family thing of being predisposed to my body forming blood clots. So part of that is the more stationary you are, the easier it is for those clots to form. So I am directly under orders from my doctor that we take frequent breaks and I move around.
When are you planning on actually departing? The next day?
Yeah, so we'll leave our home here Thursday, and we'll be leaving Abbotsford for the border Friday morning. The goal is to end up in Sunday.
Sorry, you cut out a bit.
So I said we were leaving our home here Thursday, leaving Abbotsford to get to the border Friday morning, having as much time to drive as we can that way, with the end goal being getting to Anaheim on Sunday.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Yeah. Try to time it, though, that you're not going through Seattle during rush hour. You'll hate yourself.
Oh, yeah. No, I know. As it is, we'll be if it times out the way we're thinking, because we need to go on the once we're in California. We'll be stopping at Redding, but we leave from there. We have to swing through Sacramento because we're picking up my mother-in-law. Yeah. And then going from Sacramento to LA, and we'll probably be hitting that pretty much in the dinner rush, which I'm not looking forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Los Angeles in an afternoon rush. Anyone that lives down in that area, I'm sure feels our pain already.
I have more than my share of time driving to LA during the worst type of traffic.
Yeah.
Sacramento's not bad. There isn't really much of a rush hour through Sacramento, but
it can get busy, but there's nothing quite like Los Angeles other than maybe New York.
Yeah. Well, put it this way. I don't think there's any time you can go through LA without traffic unless it's 10 o'clock at night, really, or 3 in the morning. You're going to run into it no matter what.
Yeah.
So just try to enjoy the route, I guess, is all you can do. And,
that's pretty much it.
Sing 99 bottles of beer on the wall, or maybe 99 beer walk, maybe something better than that.
99 bottles of sparkling mineral water on the
wall. Say that again 3 times twice.
I'd rather not.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool. So I guess you're looking forward to your trip. Oh, yeah. As regarding us, we did manage to get a place in Idaho Falls. It's a nice little 2-bedroom place. It's very cozy. It's very cute. It's right in the center of Idaho Falls. And that is kind of where we're setting up home. Yeah,
so you now have a base of operations.
We have an address now, which is really cool. So we've now, because we have an address, have started our paperwork, and that paperwork looks like it's going to be challenging. But and it's so funny, I went online, and you have all these lawyers, these immigration lawyers on there to give you advice. And this one that we listened to, she's like, just want to let you know right off the bat, this is going to be a long, grinding, hard process, and they're going to nitpick you, and they're going to do this, and they're going to do that. But make sure you and your spouse or whatever get together and say, we're going to get through this. I'm like, how is that encouraging? She's obviously promoting her service, right? She wants us to know, but myself and Susan, we trust in Yahweh. And
that's it.
We trust in his timing, and we're not going to worry about it. So in the meantime, we're just
if he wants to expedite the process, it doesn't matter what the world does.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. So we're just trusting in him and all the things that we're doing. And as you could probably tell, I have lost a ridiculous amount of weight too. Have you noticed?
No, I could see it. Yeah, I noticed it. It's been a little while since I've seen you, and you can tell.
Well, if I was to show, I actually look the same as I did, I think. Oh, not quite, but I'm looking. When we were doing the radio shows together, I was super thin back then. I put on, I probably could have added on another 5 pounds, but I'm down now to under about 218 pounds. I was 245 pounds before I got married. You know that?
Yeah, that's big for you.
That is it. That is
I could only dream about being that light.
Well, it's the amount of weight that I lost, right?
Yeah.
In a 3-month period, which is crazy. Some might say, well, that's losing weight really fast. No, I've never been heavy. I put that weight on just from abusing myself during the loss of Chelsea. So, and then trying to do the victim impact statement yesterday, that was no fun.
Yeah, no, there's no way for that to be fun, but it is necessary.
Yeah, well, but anyway, I'm kind of glad you guys are going to be there. I just don't think I can go through another laughing stock from a court shelter in BC. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What do we got left for time here? You know what's so funny? I had my reading glasses. Have I moved? Didn't I have I moved?
No, you have not moved.
And it's amazing how I've lost my glasses.
Is this where I tell you they're on your head? No. Gotcha.
Well, there could be nowhere else. They're not anywhere. I don't know where they are. Okay, let's see. I'm going to squint here. Okay, we're coming up to we should be wrapping things up. We just wanted to give a basic update and let everybody know we're all doing well. You're doing well. Carrie's doing well. Susan's doing well. And you guys are on your way for a vacation. And Hanukkah's coming up, and it's just going to be exciting. We're going to do like a little mini series on Hanukkah because we want to make it clear that that's really the route you want to go. And we're excited about it. And there's lots of different things we want to do together when we're driving down the road. It's a lot of fun. So
yeah,
she's a blast to be with. She really is. She's such a godly woman, and I love her.
yeah. Well, I know one general thing that I did mention in a couple of my videos is just the idea that, because it's been on, I think I can speak for you safely on this one. It's kind of been on our hearts and on our minds of, a real kind of lack of regular content going up on the channel.
Yeah.
But as explained, there's just so unbelievably so much stuff going on. It has been almost impossible to do stuff. And I think I'm starting to settle down. So my output is starting to go up again. And as I was mentioning in one of my videos to say, some developments happening with you, that should facilitate, an improvement on your side as well. So the idea is that content, as we're maybe heading into 2016 might kind of be, or 2026, would be the target to really see an increase in that stuff happening for the channel.
Yeah, so. Exactly. Well, no, we are definitely going to be upping things or upping the throttle, so to speak. We have a lot of ideas. Susan's got ideas coming out of her ears, and it's just a matter of doing things, getting it done. Like I said, our main focus was getting an address established. Now we have that. Yeah. So now we can submit the paperwork and leave it in the Lord's hands and focus more on what God wants us to do. One of his main reasons for us being out here in the first place together is to share the word of God together. She's been the missing link in my life for a long time. So yeah, content on the channel will start to increase for sure. And,
so this would be the time, if you have not done so, I'm going to do that shameless plug, subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit that notification bell because, and even when you do that, YouTube in particular is real notorious on their algorithms for not always sharing content, even when you have subscribed to a channel. So it's just what can help with that is interacting with the videos. Yeah. So that's where the likes and the shares and the comments and all that stuff come in. It helps the content to reach other people, but it also helps to make sure that you're receiving it on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So.
And you might also want to check to make sure you're still subscribed if you happen to be seeing this in your feed. And go back and make sure it is subscribed and that you're receiving the notifications, because YouTube also has been known to not only unsubscribe people from channels, but to turn the notifications off because they may not necessarily like what we're talking about on here. Because when you talk about truth, when you talk about righteousness, they don't want to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it. We want our ears tickled, and we don't do that on this channel. So
yeah, no, Jesus does not fit into the algorithms of this world. So yeah, the algorithms don't much like him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and also we want to start doing hopefully something regularly, maybe a couple times a month. Yourself and Kristen, myself and Susan, where we can do a little round table together, and we can just talk about what's on our heart and what God is sharing with us. So
have some more couple stuff. Yep.
Yeah, we want to do a lot of that, and that'll be a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to your video coverage down there. You going to bring your drone with you?
Yes, I am.
Of course he is.
How could I not?
Hey, just so you know, I have flown that drone in Orange County. So certain areas have restrictions, but if you have it registered to you, do you have it registered to you now?
Yes.
You can actually get clearance in no-fly zones because it'll only let you fly 50 feet in the air, and that's really all you need.
Really? Yeah, I don't very often go much higher than that anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Not for the particular shots that I want to get, yeah.
Well, but if you're over Disneyland and you want to get something like that, they will have a higher clearance, obviously because of the rides, but their airport is far enough away there, so looking forward to seeing what you're doing. And we should wrap it up before we get cut off. And I just wanted to say, again, it's awesome to be on here doing this with you. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful time, and we'll be praying for your safety. And maybe we could do a little update while you're down there in California. That would be kind of cool.
I think that would be really neat to do.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, blessings in the name of Yeshua, my friend.
Yes, to you as well, and to everyone watching.
Absolutely. And again, subscribe to the channel. Do give a like and leave a comment on the channel, or even send us an email if you like. Email truthandtestimonyemail@gmail.com, truthandtestimonyemail@gmail.com, if you have a prayer request or a suggestion of a future broadcast. We'd be happy to do it for you. So,
and if you don't hear the email or don't remember hearing it in the video, it is in the description box below. As well.
Amen. All right, my friend. God bless you. You guys have a wonderful time, all right?
All right, you too. Drive safe, Susan.
Susan. Scott says, drive safe.
I will. Have a great trip.
Yeah.
Thank you.
She scares me a lot. Get me out of here!
Save me!
Take care, everybody. Save me! They don't see me. I'm actually shackled down in here.
I'm strapped to the bunk. That's the part you don't see.
I'm her slave. I have to feed her cake. That's not a lie. I had to feed her cake earlier. I do, because I love her. All right.
As long as it's a low sugar cake.
Yeah, as long as it's a low sugar cake, Scott says. She says no, it's from the truck stop.
You've been watching Truth and Testimony, the broadcast. If you have a comment, please leave it on the bottom of this video or email us at truthandtestimonyemail@gmail.com. Again, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Truth and Testimony, the broadcast, is not affiliated with Truth and Testimony magazine.